Joe Biden said very clearly yesterday it was the other team in regards to the attack on the hospital. But the British government have not gone that far. We just heard from the security minister. How does that feel for you? Are you disappointed with the British response?
First of all, I want to welcome Rishi Sunak, your Prime Minister, and really appreciate that he's come. And when he's here, we'll see the facts. We have no doubt, absolutely no doubt, that the explosion at the hospital was caused by a rocket launch from the Gaza Strip. There are videos that clearly prove this, beyond any doubt. And Israel is doing everything all the time to avoid harm innocent civilians in Gaza Strip, while these monsters and murders, terrorist organizations, they are using civilians, including children, as human shields, endangering their lives time and time again. And this is the worst ever. You can imagine what happened here in Israel with these monsters. What they did, it's not make anybody can imagine these horrific events that happened, and more than 14,000 Israelis murdered. I think the world has never seen before the worst things that they did. Children, even babies, were shot in front of their parents. Yeah. Women were raped and then murdered. People were burned alive. Dead soldiers' bodies were beheaded and mutilated. You cannot. President Biden was here and he said that the Hamas is worse than ISIS. Chancellor Schultz, when he was here, he said that Hamas is worse than the Nazis. They are right. This is the enemy we are facing, and the whole world must know and understand it. It's we have more than 200 kidnapped Israeli in the Gaza Strip, young girl and boys that only went to have to dance in a party in their holiday.
And Minister,
and I think that all of us in all the world must understand that we must work together against this terror organization. It will come everywhere. Things like this start in Israel, but it is all everywhere. Yeah. So we must understand that and do everything we can to destroy them.
And Joe Biden, on his visit yesterday, expressed real solidarity with Israel. He said it was like 15 versions of 9/11. He also expressed the importance of remaining calm. He said that he understood the rage that people felt, but he warned about not being consumed by it, and he talked about some of the mistakes that were made in the wake of 9/11. What's your response to what he said about that?
I can tell you something that when you see all what is happening here and all about a mistake that made, now we are all put the attention about winning this war, and we will. And then we will have the time to see all the things about investigating where and what were the mistakes, and we will deal with that. Now all our IDF and all our soldiers are looking, and all the government and the parliament and everything is looking for winning this war. This we are dealing with in this time, and then we will have time to take the other things.
And what is the end game for you when you say winning this war? What does success look like? Is that a ground invasion? Obviously, you want to eradicate Hamas. Is that possible? And what happens after that? Do you stay in Gaza? Will there be a long-term armed occupation? What does success look like for you in terms of making Israel safe?
When I'm saying that together we will win, so the price is very heavy, but we will win this war as well. Israel, we are at this war to destroy the capabilities of Hamas and restore security for our citizens. We are ready for the continuation of the military campaign on other fronts as well, including removal of population from threat areas. We are responding forcefully to anyone trying to attack our sovereignty. And like you said, if what will be at the end of this war, the end of this war for completely no Hamas at all in Gaza Strip. And then we will need to, first of all, now what we are doing, Hamas is operating still to murder Israeli citizens. Like you see, we have thousands of missiles that are coming here. So we are calls upon all the residents of the north of Gaza Strip to evacuate their homes and move south to the south of Gaza River for the safety of the civilians and to prevent harm to innocent people.
But Minister, sorry to interrupt.
What we are saying clearly this time that when we'll finish this war, and we can say that we won this war, that it will be without Hamas at all. Okay. And like you know, Hamas is not only these monsters. It's bringing 17 years of brainwashing the young generation inside Gaza. So it will be,
Minister,
it will be a huge work
And Minister, in terms of the end game, which of course you want to make Israel a secure place, you can go in and you can destroy as much of Hamas as you can, but as you say, there will be a lot of young people who've been radicalized by Hamas. There are going to be a lot of innocent Palestinian people who will lose their life as a result of this war. How do you eradicate the ideology that a lot of young people and other people will have in terms of all of this? Because it's one thing to take Hamas out, but how do you take out people's thoughts and an ideology and a way of thinking?
We don't want to force anybody, but to get this inhumanity and crime against humanity and committed, you need to see when the borders, they came from Gaza, so even though kids, young kids came from there, and you cannot imagine what they did inside Israel with the killing and murdering, and it's not make any, you cannot imagine. So it means that it's deeply brainwashing inside. So I think that all of us together will need to bring this understanding of it's impossible that people will educated by killing Jewish because they are only Jewish. It's not make sense everywhere, not only in Gaza Strip, everywhere. So I believe that after the war, we will need to get the international help from everybody to make better for the civilians inside Gaza, for the Palestinians that got this control of monsters against them and against us. So I believe that we can do it together, and let's hope that it will be as soon as possible.
And does that make you feel that after this war is over, that you can restart the two-state solution?
I don't think that now we need to speak about that. I think that now we need to be very directly about changing completely the monsters that control this regime. When we in Israel allowed this land for the Palestinians and took away the Jewish people from this land, it's become terrorist and only terrorist inside. So now what we need to do is to take all these terrorists out. And unfortunately, all this time when Israel tried to have peace around us, like you see, when we have it with the Arab leaders. So we got Abraham Accords. But when we have terrorists, the worst
Okay.
terrorists ever, so like you understand, it's impossible. So
Minister,
we
I'll
need
just have
now
to move you on because we are short on time. You've talked a lot about the horror that was unleashed with Hamas and what the terrible, terrible things they've done to Jewish people in Israel. But will you acknowledge that there was a massive failure of Israeli intelligence and Israeli security? Many Israeli people are absolutely furious with the intelligence services, the army services. Will you acknowledge that, and will you apologise for that lapse in security?
First of all, of course, the state of Israel didn't succeed by making the safe of our citizens, and of course, we are apologize about that. This is the worst thing ever. You can imagine how it's hurting everybody. And now, what I want to say that we need to bring back all the hostages that are in Gaza. You saw the girls, you see the young generation, you see the even eldest woman, 85, and the Holocaust survivor. It's not, now I think that all the international leaders around the world that are want to make this, they must say that they need to bring back these kids and these civilians that are home. They need to come back to Israel, and this is what we put as a goal. And let's hope for everybody in the world that these monsters not keep anywhere. And I believe that all of you can agree with that.